the 2021 DLFF Film Festival kind of meet and greets with the filmmakers. We are really, really excited to have the cast and crew of Avocado Toast. It's a full-length feature. It's a comedy, and it's terrific. You're really going to enjoy it. May 28th through the 29th. It's going to be available online for free for those 48 hours. Okay, I'm going to introduce you to Tyler first. He's the writer-director. Tyler, tell us a little bit about the project. First, maybe what it's about, the log line or whatever, and then also how the idea came about.
Yeah, sure thing. Thanks for having us on, Ray. We appreciate this. Avocado Toast is a story about a guy named Adam, who's a hardworking, kind of plays by the rule family man who risks everything he has by experimenting in millennialism. So it's a real fun, kind of different, unique fish out of water type story with a guy in his late 30s that identifies as someone from Gen X and decides that he's going to quit his job, kind of quit his family, quit his kind of older friends and kind of go young and hip and start dressing like a millennial, start doing what he wants, start being a little more selfish. And so the story deals with kind of having a life crisis, a little quarter life crisis, if you will, and kind of the joys and the dangers of kind of worrying about those issues with dealing with the grass is always greener. You kind of always think it's better on the other side, but I think our character goes through a journey discovering what really is better, what he had or what he now has.
And I've never heard the word millennialism used in such a diagnostic fashion. I felt like chills, like, oh, I hope I don't catch it. But yeah,
too late, man.
Really
yeah.
How long was the writing process, Tyler?
On this one, it was actually very long. This was actually a therapeutic movie for me. You might not think that with its subject matter, but I was kind of going through a life crisis on my own in my 30s, and I just was kind of stuck in that rut. And so that definitely became a lot of the inspiration for this content. And the exact kind of story is what prompted it for me. I was just working my tail off as a young filmmaker. And I remember being so overloaded and stressed, not seeing my family. And I ran into this guy my age who was a total millennial mentality, where he just wanted to play and do anything he wanted and leave his family and do whatever. And I remember being so bitter against him because I was leaving my family all the time to work and he was leaving his family just to play. And I felt so resentful about that. And so I think it was part of that, of wishing I was out playing and doing it that way. So that's how it came about. But it took.
The film was dedicated to him.
Yeah, I hope so. And it's a movie in our style. We like to kind of make fun of and poke fun of everybody. So whatever generation, however old you are, I think you'll find humor and kind of teasing and prodding a little bit of everybody's age and things they're into.
Well, you found the perfect actor in Justin to play Adam. I think the metamorphosis was very stark and also very apparent, not just in the dress, which cracks me up, but he really embodied kind of that shift in that fish out of water. And Justin, how did you come about with this project? Did you know Justin Taylor previously, and also tell us a little bit about the role that you played?
My name is Justin. I played Adam. As far as my involvement with the film, I kind of just saw the audition notice on Backstage and just submitted my headshot and stuff. And luckily, they didn't look past it and they looked further and gave me the opportunity to audition.
Wait, you mean you got this role through talent?
Crazy, right? Yeah. No, it was great that they gave me the opportunity, and it was a really fun just audition process. It was actually through Zoom, I believe. I think it was a Zoom audition.
Yeah, but this wasn't a pandemic movie, right?
Initially, no, it became one, right? Yeah. We shot it during in July. This past July was our main principal photography, yeah.
Oh, so you shot during the pandemic.
Uh-huh.
Oh, wait, was there a reference to masks? I don't remember. in the coffee shop.
Yeah,
The
we had
social
some-
distancing thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember it now in the coffee shop.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. No, it's funny because I try to. It's very interesting. All our lives have been impacted so dramatically, and it's interesting to see the content because some films are like directly acknowledging the pandemic, and others are like skirting the pandemic. But I guess you guys did it very successfully. It didn't even dawn on me that it was shot during the pandemic. So great job. Now, Justin, this is primarily your vocation. You're an actor.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I can get work, sure.
Yeah. Well, it's tough, and this last year has been really, really tough. But it's always nice to hear. A lot of these films are just collaborative in the sense that people know each other from prior projects. It's really nice to hear someone who just kind of walked in the door and brought this freshness that Tyler saw and really was able to utilize to, I think, make the film even better. So congratulations, Justin, great job. And Michaela, you are what's your character's name? Sydney.
Sydney. Yes.
You're the wife, right?
No.
Who are you?
No, she's the other girl. She's the other girl.
Oh,
I'm
she's
the other one.
the coffee girl boss.
Yes.
Yes. The barista.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I remember. You were very skeptical of Adam when he first came to your establishment.
Oh yeah, he's this corporate hotshot, know the type.
Just slumming it.
Yeah.
And how did you get involved in the project?
So I auditioned as well, but I worked with Tyler a lot in the past. So we did know each other. I was actually, fun fact, I was actually very pregnant when I auditioned. Like very pregnant. And the Scrooge McDuck scene, I was also very pregnant. We kind of, hid it.
Right.
But I was 8 months pregnant there. Just in that scene, none of the other ones. And so it's actually kind of a fun story, that I got to audition and actually got the role while I was so pregnant.
Well, does your baby have an IMDb listing?
Oh, she should. I haven't even thought about that. I haven't thought about it.
Definitely. That's
And Michaela,
incredible.
did you know you were the last? Michaela was the last person to audition for us. She missed all of our auditions, and so she had to send me video links from her phone. I don't know if you remember that, Michaela. So it was a kind of a fun, like compiling all her different video submissions.
I was also probably trying to just decide in general if it was too obvious that I was pregnant and if it was gonna, if it was even worth it. But obviously, it's a good thing I did.
So what was more memorable, the film or your baby?
The film.
That's a toss up. She screams a lot, so I don't know.
So you had a pandemic baby, huh? Like birth.
I had her March 21st of 2020. So it was the height of the toilet paper crisis when there was no groceries on any of the shelves. So
That
it
was
quite
crazy. Was it timed or was it scheduled delivery or no? Or natural?
No, I had an unmedicated birth. So it was intense, and that's what I was most nervous about. I was nervous about that, and the pandemic was underneath that. So I was like more scared about giving unmedicated birth, and then there's the pandemic.
and literally that was the first week. Like we had no idea what was going on.
Yeah. It was still when masks were bad.
Right.
So I didn't have to wear one during labor. So I was happy about that.
It's funny when I think back to that week, I literally recall being like, oh, 2 weeks, no problem. Now.
Yeah, it was all so wild. And so we filmed the Scrooge McDuck scene just a month prior to that. So we filmed that first one. That was the first thing we shot right before COVID hit.
Amazing. Well, you guys have that historical context now that you always have with you.
Yes, this is part of history now.
Okay. So Joshua, your character's name is
Connor.
Is what?
Connor.
Connor. Yes, you are. So of course, every midlife crisis has to have like the cohorts around them, and you're one of the cohorts. Tell us
Absolutely.
about how you got involved in the project and anything you want to share.
Connor was awesome because I get to fool around, ad lib a lot. I've worked with Tyler once before, probably about 4 or 5 years ago on a comedic little shoot called The Tooth Fairy, and then he told me about this, and I asked him if I could audition, and so I auditioned, and initially I tried out for Adam and other role. I didn't really care for Connor's role until I read it again, and then just fell in love with it, and then auditioned, and then that's the rest is history.
It seemed like it really suited your comedic kind of style. I mean, it seemed like it was a good fit, definitely.
It was a good fit. It was a really good fit. Yeah, I really
Interesting
enjoyed
how
it.
at first you didn't see it, but then you did see it.
Yep. Sometimes it happens like that.
Now, David, you were co-producer. Tell us about your role and what was it like to produce a feature film in the midst of a pandemic?
Well, when we started, of course, it wasn't during the pandemic, so everything was kind of business as usual. And I've known Tyler for a long time. He's a good friend of mine, and he sent me the script because he just wanted some feedback, and I loved it. I knew it needed to work, but I was like, you have something here, and I was really excited. And I actually asked him if I could produce, and he was like, "Really?" I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Sure." So I think I was the first person to come onto the project after Tyler officially, and so it's really close to my heart as well. This project, and we started filming, like Michaela was saying, we filmed in February, a lot of the like more elaborate flashes in his head, and we were coming back in the beginning of May, but between February and May things sort of happened. And so everything got on hiatus. We didn't know when we were coming back. I'm like, we've already spent this money and filmed these scenes, and we're going to lose actors. It was kind of terrifying at that point from a producing standpoint, because we had no idea where it was going to go from there. But our actors and all of our crew, everybody's so phenomenal. You know, they all wanted to be a part of it. They worked their schedules. And even when we were about to start shooting again, we had to push it another week. All of our locations understood. All of our actors understood. I mean, this couldn't have happened without the people on the movie. And people say that all the time, but it's just true. Without the cast we had and all the people in place, I don't know how we get this movie made in the midst of everything that was going on. So it's kind of incredible how it all came together.
That's great. That's really great that it was so collaborative and everyone was really, supportive and anxious to get this filmed. Lucas, our editor. Lucas, what do you primarily edit? I think there's a terrific skill involved with editing comedy,
I think so.
Great job.
Thank you.
Do you mostly edit comedy, or do you edit?
I mean, comedy is a lot of fun. I think I do a good job with it. But I've done some dramas, some short horror films, and pretty much a little of everything.
Mostly working narrative or anything?
Narrative is more my freelance job. I have a day job of just corporate editing, but it pays the insurance. So
yeah. Hey,
actually, Tyler and I work for the same company, but we didn't meet until we started working on this film. Funny enough.
Are you kidding? That's crazy.
Yeah. Odd coincidence. He just happened to be in the same. Lucas and I live 2 hours north of Salt Lake City in just a small little town, and we work for this pretty big company. It's a fitness company, and we worked in different areas, and we're both in video, but it's a big enough company that he's in marketing and I'm in a different side of things, and we didn't know each other, but so it's kind of funny.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's really phenomenal.
Yeah.
I think I had seen him once at work. A friend of mine, Nick, is like, "Oh, that's Tyler. He's someone you should get to know." I'm like, "Okay," and then I never did, and then eventually we did. So,
Lucas, we need to come up with a better story. Like, you guys actually were Secret Santas one year, but you didn't know it.
Giving each other gifts for years and years.
Yeah, and then later you guys saw that you each had half of the pendant.
Oh boy!
Put it together.
Long lost filmmaker love. Yeah.
I like that story better, Lucas. Okay.
I'll do that for the next interview for sure.
Yeah. Okay, you guys, it was really great to talk to you, and I wish I was on set because I bet it was a lot of fun. Much success with the movie. Congratulations, extra congratulations for getting it done in all these conditions and sticking with it. And Michaela, you get the honor, you get the top honors for giving birth and shooting during a pandemic. So
Oh yeah.
you put those guys to shame. I mean, you guys are lazy compared to what Michaela went through.
Heck yeah.
And the pandemic didn't affect me much. I just stayed home all day anyway. So
Well, thanks so much for sharing your time and also with your project. Hey, that's another interview with the filmmakers behind Avocado Toast. And tune in May 28th, 29th online. Check our Facebook and website for links starting May 28th, noon Pacific time through 10 p.m. on the 29th. Thanks a lot for being part of the DLFF Film Festival.